What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Baddog back with another New York Giants video. Happy Sunday, everybody. The draft is over. First and foremost, just want to give a huge thank you to everybody that was in the stream the last 3 days. With Chris and myself, we had a blast doing it. They're long 3 days. There's no doubt about that. That's a hell of a grind. A lot of you guys and girls were in there the entire 15, 16 hours that we streamed. So thank you so much for all the support. We really do appreciate it and can never say it enough. The New York Giants, in my opinion, crushed this draft. Crushed it. And I think a lot of Giants fans would agree that the New York Giants crushed this draft. Now, I know there's going to be some Giants fans that aren't happy that they didn't address the offensive line. And no matter what you tell them, they're going to say, why did we address the offensive line? Why didn't we address the offensive line? And I get that. It's a genuine concern. There's a big question mark going into 2021 with the New York Giants offensive line. But let me say this. These guys drafted these players and have said they believe in these guys going forward. Rookies, usually in the third and fifth round especially, don't come into the league and destroy it in their first, in the rookie season. They just don't. 2020 was a weird season. They had no offseason at all. They had no minicamps, no OTAs. Practices were strange. They had no preseason games. So the first NFL experience for these guys was in a game situation. They had no chance to build chemistry and unity, cohesiveness. They had to learn all this on the fly. So give them a year. Players are supposed to develop. That's what the coaching staff is for. Let's see what they do with a full offseason, some preseason games, and a year acclimated to the New York Giants system. I'm not saying that this offensive line is going to be fantastic, top 10. I'm not even going to say it's going to be average, but let's face it. Saquon Barkley alone makes the offensive line better. Having guys like Kyle Rudolph, adding a Kadarius Toney, which we're going to talk about in a second, a Kenny Golladay, a year with Daniel Jones under the new coaching staff, it should be a lot better. And let's not forget the dissension amongst the New York Giants offensive line coaching staff, having Colombo fired midway through the season. There's a lot of things that went on. Andrew Thomas struggled at the beginning of the year. Andrew Thomas really came out at the end of last year. I think Andrew Thomas is not going to be a question mark. I think he'll be very good going forward. Obviously, Parrott and Lemieux were raw. They didn't show up very well last year, and you got to hope that they get better. You also have to hope that Will Hernandez takes a step up, because I don't know what happened to Will Hernandez. He was pretty good his rookie season. He's kind of fallen off. He's still got a lot of talent. He's got that great disposition. Let's hope that Will Hernandez comes back. And adding Nate Solder, although he hasn't been very good for the Giants, again, it's a leader in the clubhouse, in the locker room. You know what I mean? He's a leader. He's a veteran. He can help these kids develop as well. So there's a big question mark, but I do think the Giants' offensive line will be better for all the reasons that I mentioned. Now let's get into the draft. I know there's people that said, why did we take Kadarius Toney at 20? It's a reach. And of course, the rivals, the NFC's rival, they reached. Why did the Giants reach? Because mock drafts said that Kadarius Toney ain't going top 20. Is that why the New York Giants reached? Is that why? I mean, I even said it myself. I thought it was a bit of a reach because all the mock drafts had him going later. But this is the thing. At the end of the day, does it really matter if he was picked 20th, 6th, 80th? Does it matter? If the kid comes in and balls out, it doesn't matter where he was picked. And if I were to tell Giants fans going into the draft before it started, you're going to get the Bears number 20, their 5th round pick in 2021, the 1st round pick in 2022, 4th round pick in 2022, and the Miami Dolphins 3rd round pick in 2022. So you're getting 4 future draft picks, and you're getting the Bears number 20. You're going to end up with Azeez Ojulari and Kadarius Toney. If you don't like Kadarius Toney at 20 because you wanted Azeez Ojulari, just switch the picks if it makes you feel better. We got Azeez at 20, and we got Kadarius Toney at 50. The ability for the Giants to trade back at 42 and move to 50 and get a future 3rd round pick and still get Azeez Ojulari, that was amazing. So much so that a lot of media outlets said Dave Gettleman had the best day 2 of any GM in the NFL. High praise, especially since people don't like Dave Gettleman and they don't give him any credit at all. As a matter of fact, there were some detractors of Dave Gettleman since I've known them or whatever, that actually, in the streams and everything, that were giving Dave Gettleman credit. So I thought Gettleman and company did a fantastic job the first 2 days. No doubt about it. You get a really shifty, versatile wide receiver that can come in and do a lot of different things, give a lot of different looks to the defense. You can line him up in the backfield. You can run some end arounds on him. He can even throw a little bit. He's extremely shifty. They're saying he's a joystick. He's got great moves. He's an elusive runner. Great yards after the catch. And again, it's not just about 2021, guys. Going forward, Sterling Shepard's probably not going to be here. So you slide Kadarius Toney right into the spot. You got your future slot receiver. It is what it is, right? You got a great edge rusher in Azeez Ojulari. That one pumped me up, man. I was so excited that the Giants are able to trade back and still get that guy, man. That, to me, that was unbelievable. Probably my favorite pick of the draft was what the Giants did there, the ability to trade back and still get that edge rusher, which he really moved up the boards. Now, I know he had the arthritis thing, and that kind of maybe dropped his stock, but there was a lot of people talking about Azeez Ojulari being the first defensive end off the board. So we get our Georgia Bulldog. We always do. Shout to Uncle Lou. Giants get a Georgia Bulldog every year, do we not? So we got him in Azeez Ojulari. And, Aaron Robinson, man, this is another really good pick. I actually reached out to you. I just put a comment on UCF Jaguars page. Just let me know about Aaron Robinson. But the kid looks like a stud. He's got good size, got good athleticism. And it made the Eagles fight in their war room because they wanted him. And the Giants traded up to get him. So that was worth the pick alone. But again, people say Gettleman's a relic. Gettleman's an old school guy. And maybe he is a little bit old school guy. Because no matter how much this NFL evolves, game is still one in the trenches. Gettleman wants his trench guys. Now, Gettleman didn't find anybody worth taking at the picks that they had for the offensive line. But the new school mentality in the NFL is secondary depth at the cornerback position. He's done nothing since he came in here but tried to build the depth in the secondary. He's drafted players. He's brought in players. He's done a lot of that. People want to give all the credit to Joe Judge. Gettleman's been building that secondary since he came here. He drafted 3 defensive backs his first year. He drafted Ballantyne. He drafted DeAndre Baker. That was failed, obviously. So was Sam Beal, but they brought him in as well. They took him with a supplemental pick. And then, who's the other guy? Julian Love. They drafted McKinney last year. They draft Rodarius this year. So Rodarius Williams. So they have definitely taken a shot at the secondary, which, again, is a new school philosophy. Ellerson Smith. One thing I love about Ellerson Smith, watching his interview, same thing with Rodarius Williams. The one thing I love about these kids is they come in and you hear him say, I'm ready to work. I know it's not going to be easy. Ellerson Smith said, I'm ready to work. I know it's not going to be easy. See, I love that attitude. You come in here, you're ready to work. That's New York Giants mentality. Joe Judge said right from the beginning, we want kids that are willing to learn. We want to be able to teach these guys. That's the coaching staff's job. You take these kids' skills, you get the most out of them, you hone their skills, you develop your game plan around what their strengths are. Joe Judge said that too. Don't tell me what they can't do. Tell me what they can do. That's what a real coach does. That's why these guys want to play for the New York Giants and that coaching staff. The coaching staff is very smart. They're all Ivy League brains, so they obviously know what they're doing. And then, of course, they get Brightwell out of Arizona. The Giants needed some running back depth. There's no doubt about that. I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about Brightwell. I'm going to take a look at him today because I don't watch a lot of Pac-12 football, so I don't know much about Brightwell. But I was happy that the New York Giants went out there and got another running back. You can't just go into the year with Saquon Barkley and Devontae Booker. That's not going to, be the best thing out there. So, you got to have a little bit of running back depth. I obviously want to trade Sermon because I think Sermon is a beast. Brightwell, the same size and also a downhill runner from what I understand. And the Giants do need the downhill runner, especially near the end zone, guy that lowers his pads and tries to drive the defense back, get those extra yards, those little hidden yards where maybe, it's a 2-yard game, but he lowers his shoulders and gets 3.5 yards, things like that. Don't show up in the box score maybe, but they end up being big plays. Yards after contact are very big when it comes to a running back. So like I said, I'll take a look more at Brightwell going forward today when I get some time. But I think that the New York Giants draft was incredible. They obviously got some positions of need. They got a ton of draft capital going into 2022 where you're going to have a full college season. You're going to have much better evaluation of these players. And listen, that Bears draft pick, that could be really big. We don't know what the Bears are going to be, especially with a rookie quarterback. Those teams don't normally succeed. The Bears, I don't think they were great anyway. I don't know if they got any better in the draft. But I'll say this. The Bears, I'm going to be rooting against them. Nothing personal, just business. The Bears end up with a top 5 or a top 10 pick. Or the Bears end up, drafting top 5, top 10. The Giants get that pick. The world is their oyster, man. If Daniel Jones ain't the guy this year, and it's a make or break for him, if he's not the guy, maybe the Giants can address the quarterback in the 2022 draft. If Daniel Jones is the guy, and the Bears are picking top 5, and there's a player up there that a team really wants, Giants can get a ton of draft capital for that pick. So that's big because the Bears are a massive question mark. They have the 3rd toughest schedule in the NFL in 2021. So that could be huge for the New York Giants. They could definitely end up with a really, really good pick in 2022 from the Chicago Bears. And as I've said before, I know Eagle fans think they fleeced the Giants. We took Devontae Smith. There was definitely things that came out. So the Giants were never interested in Devontae Smith. They wanted Jalen Waddle. That was the guy they were interested. I don't know how true that is. At the end of the day, I would much rather have Kadarius Toney in the Bears 2022 first-round pick over Devontae Smith. I'm not lying about that. That's a fact. I would much rather have Kadarius Toney in a future first than Devontae Smith because you don't know what that future first is. In essence, you're getting two players for one, and I like that. I like what the Giants did there. I love what they did in the draft. Let me know what you think about what they did in the draft. As always, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's a Bad Diggity Dizzle. I'm out. Peace.